With that, following on from that, with the state of the economy, is it a good time to survey the congregation as to whether we want to continue with all that?
It has got some questions in the
in the
survey
survey.
that's going out.
Yeah.
It's about what excites you about the congregation and
Right.
things like that are listed. So you have an opportunity to say whatever you want.
Right, right. So there are questions that talk to the land and say, is that a priority for you, or is it not a priority?
We're talking about partnerships with like the Lutheran Family Services and all. Is that like to just sell off what we have and downsize? So
It could be.
So we can sell a Lutheran presence without actually having our hands in it?
Could be. That could be one model, or another model could be that we keep that and they basically fund it. So I mean, there are different.
We're waiting for them to come back.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. We don't know. But that certainly, what you just outlined is a potential model where we would basically lock stock say, you buy it from us, you create the ministry there, we would have the benefit of using that as a congregation.
Is the Sunrise House part of that package now? Is that what you're kind of thinking of?
It
or-
could be. It could be.
Let me explain. May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things that I see as a minor change of style is that, and I think it's a little hard right now for the congregation, is that the council is forced by circumstance to do phased evaluation. So we don't have absolute clarity for all things. And we're having to go basically, the way I'm managing as a pastor is 10-week blocks, because information is changing, it seems, within 10-week periods of time. So where we are right now is we're in conversation with Lutheran Homes. We're in conversation, it's very tentative. And we're trying to, again, it's this process to sense where the Holy Spirit's leading and see what they respond to, as Larry was saying. Now, if they say, geez, we really think it's a great project, but because of economics, we can't do it. Well, we still have an economic situation. And the council is going to have to consider that economic situation and then in dialogue, hear that part, in dialogue with the congregation, make next step plans. So I can tell you this, we are not in a position to, historically we have given a lot of money to Sunrise House. We're not in a position to do that right now. But I can also tell you that they're in the black. That's a nice situation. That's positive, right? So I don't want to sound so doom and gloom,
Right.
except that it's a process evaluation that they're trying to use.
Good. Yeah, and in reality, it's interesting you should mention that, Pastor, because these forums that I set up, I want to make sure that we answer your questions and concerns, and that we address whatever issues might be out there. But it's a dual-edged sword, because now that we've talked about Sunrise House, guess what is going to be out there kind of percolating is, oh, we're going to get rid of Sunrise House, and that's not what I said. Right? I said that that's part of the discussion, and there may be opportunities to partner with them where they actually bring part of the ministry to Sunrise House. We retain it, and they bring part of the ministry, and we use some of their resources. To extend it, though, fully, if there's an opportunity and they say, hey, we're going to give you this much, but we're going to keep that ministry there, but we want to own it, here's all this opportunity for you, Glory Day. That might be another way to go, too. I don't know. So, all of that needs to continue to percolate. Go ahead, Mark.
I had a question, but just to touch base about Sunrise House real quickly. I was always under the impression out of all the meetings that I had attended, which was pretty much close to all of them, that Sunrise House was intended, the intention was for it to be included as part of the project in the overall big picture, as I was understanding.
Yeah.
So I don't see how that's, other than the economic situation and all that, how that's really changing.
Right. And that's why during those discussions we had to include that piece, because it was at least a discussion topic as we were looking at the land, to say that what's the potential for us bringing Sunrise House a little bit closer to us.
Right.
So that's why that entered into the discussion.
And actually, Family Homes and Family Services, two different organizations, are starting to merge budgets. And
Well, it's such a fascinating time. It's hard to talk to you all about all the wheelings and dealings and things that are going on. Lutheran Family Services is exploring having shared centralized administration. They're exploring the possibility of having one director for the two agencies, one accounting department, one support. I mean, so that's all going on for them. Meanwhile, Lutheran Homes has a wonderful, well, they're both wonderful leaders, but Lutheran Family Services has a very wonderful leader who wants to duplicate in spirit what was started here at Sunrise House across the state. Now, when Pastor Stowe and this congregation started this process 10 years ago, it met resistance and no support at that level. But leaders changed, and the one that's in there now is absolutely phenomenal. So she's interested in duplicating. So the question is, might there be a coming to terms in what they're hoping to do and what we've done? Then they also are approaching us about taking that kind of a service into the home. And that's part of the conversation that Rick is having with them for a new joint venture. Meanwhile, Lutheran Homes has, this is great stuff. I don't mean to take
Oh,
it
no,
on.
go ahead. Hey,
But
absolutely.
Lutheran Homes has a synod-wide mandate. Well, it has all these small churches in the Shenandoah Valley, and they're principally located in Lutheran Homes over in there. And they have an operation over in Virginia Beach, but it's generally for marginalized persons. Now, as the synod has grown and developed, there's an awful lot of strong, vibrant congregations on the eastern part of Virginia. So the mandate for them is starting to shift, that they need to put something over here. Well, here we are. It is a rich opportunity, and so that's why we're in conversation. And it's I kid Bishop Mauney that I'm the Presbyterian midwife of Lutheranism, but in terms of brokering some of this, it makes sense that since we are Lutheran, to work in concert with them, especially given our present set of circumstances. So that's why it's on the table for conversation. Pastor Stowe would regularly get expressions of interest for the things that he did. He was so out of the box and progressive that the way that he presented things to banks has now set the stage for how banks want things to be presented to them. So he had this magnificent progressive vision. And so, if I'm trying, as a pastor, I'm trying to just stay with the intent, commander's intent, and try and stay with the opportunity that the Holy Spirit opens up. And there is a we are in a financial environment. You all can read the balance sheets better than I can. We are facing some of those things, but I had an email a day or two ago from Boston expressing interest in Sunrise House and whether we might want to sit down and talk with a concern from Boston. And as Doug would say, it was from one of our Hebrew friends. So, I don't, some of those you just read and say, okay. So, that's why we're doing phased evaluation. And with the leadership that you've got in place for this council, you're doing a fine job. But it's really fluid out there. Everybody's fluid.